Hey everybody, don't get anxious, get prepared. Your career engineer right here, and welcome to our Monday morning live. Well, legally speaking, it's Monday afternoon on the East Coast, but welcome to our broadcast, and we're going to get right into some really great topics today. Actually, this morning, I was doing some television work, and folks talking about that side hustle. And if anyone watched the big game yesterday, it was kind of cool. There was a commercial with Dolly Parton from way back when talking about 5 to 9. So I was like, all my life, I've been saying, if you have a 9 to 5, get your 5 to 9 as well. So we're going to get into that a little bit today here on our broadcast. So a couple quick things before we get ready. I'm going to jump right into it. You guys know I'm always multitasking, right? So again, I am your career engineer. Trying to get there, you go. I was looking for that. I am your career engineer, and we're going to get right into it today. So get your pen and paper ready. We're going to come right back. Y'all know I like to push this really cool button, but we're going to get into, let me tell you what we're talking about today, in case you don't know, but this is what's up. We're talking about tips for your side hustle, getting that side hustle on. So this is the time, whether you're watching us on LinkedIn, on Twitter, or YouTube, feel free to be a part of the conversation. I will give you guys an opportunity to network and share who you are. And those of you watching live will get those shout outs. Those who watch later will still put your comments in the boxes, and we'll respond later. So remember, don't go anywhere. You guys know how I love doing this quick thing. Like, check this out. Y'all know I just love pushing these buttons. So again, your career engineer here. Let's get some of our stuff going on. Just a couple of housekeeping things. Make sure if you haven't checked us out, visit us at tcenow.com. But also check out our news, our network. We have our own network. I'm gonna look, boom. That's what it's about, right? Join the TCE network at mytcenow.com. Be a part of we're a great community doing some really great work in some great spaces. You also want to check us out. Of course, we're on Instagram. Of course, we're on Twitter and all those kind of good places. And of course, we're on your favorite, your Facebook and all that good stuff. But you can find all of our socials right here on tcenow.com. And you can also join our newsletter. We just put the one out Friday. It goes out every Friday at 7 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. And we're averaging about 200,000 job leads every week, plus career content, plus content I'm sharing. And the things I'll do on television here in my regional area, I'll share with you. So we have lots of content and things to get things going. So please be a part of it. And last but not least, if you haven't checked out our radio show, you've got to check out our radio show. It's live on Tuesday. We're changing the game here. You can check us out, radioshow.tcenow.com. And we're live, and you can actually call in. But we're only doing 15 minutes now. There's a reason for that. And we'll tell you why later. But 15 minutes live or later. But I'm telling you, you can phone in and you don't even need the internet to be a part of our radio show. Okay. So now we got our housekeeping out the way because it's very important for that. And as we talk about our subject today, remember, you can share your comments or questions. I'll answer them to the best I can, put them in the question block. But anything about career, life, and business, we're here to help. And remember, we're with you live 12 noon every Monday on our YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed, do so right now. Set your reminders on our LinkedIn. What's up, LinkedIn family? And of course, Twitter. One of my favorite loves was Twitter way back in the day. So here's what we're talking about: side hustle, right? Because everybody's talking about this now. COVID has allowed us to do this. I mean, we need to have. I'll put it this way. Let me rephrase that. 2020 was a year to remember, but it also revealed a whole lot too. So it allowed us to see who we are and what we bring. It also allowed us to see what we can do. And for some of us, we really responded quicker to find other ways of generating income. I mean, we lost some folks. No, W-2 world, the 1099 world was upside down, but it also forced us to look inside to see who we are and what we're really made of. And that's where we're coming into the side hustle a little bit. And as you guys know, part of career engineer, we do not hustle. I mean, the word hustle is only used in my spaces if it's about you putting muscle into your new or muscle into your neck. Or we have a no hustle zone in the TCE world. But however, People will use side hustle as, okay, this is that thing that I need to do on the side. I've always done crocheting on the side. I've always made, I'm a maker with my hands. I'm a maker with my mind. And I've always, procured myself in different ways. But now it's time to take that up a notch, because what we have learned from the year of the COVID is that you got to have more than one thing in your basket if you want to make it in America today and the world. So we're going to get into that. So one of the first things of the quote side hustle, and this may be the only time you guys hear me use that word, because the career engineer is a no hustle zone. We like to help, not hinder. So hustle has gotten a bad rap. However, for your 5 to 9, which is what I have always been about, 9 to 5 and the 5 to 9, there's a couple things that you need to be aware of. If you're going to take it up a notch, or you're going to start an entrepreneurial vision or a business, or you have something and you're ready to upscale it, right? And take it up a notch. It's simple. This is, I mean, and I know there's tons of business books, and get them all and read them all and get a plan, and do what makes you do. Okay. However, it's about need and it's about filling it. At the end of the day, any successful entrepreneurial venture or any successful side business or part-time business or side gig or whatever we want to call it, you've got to find the need. If there's no need, how is it a business? It becomes a hobby if there's no need. And then you have to fill it. Whatever the solve is, you've got to fill it. And I put in here, to be safe, of course, you want to do stuff legally. I mean, I know a lot of folk are doing side hustles out their pocket and not legal eagle. Even 100 years ago, when I started doing resumes, like I was in college, I could type. I type about 95 words a minute. I'm one of these folks that learned how to type way back when as a kid. My mother was a secretary. So way back when as a kid on a typewriter, like this archaic thing. But I learned how to type and have it by memory. So I was like, I don't want to be no typist. Now, guess what? I'm so glad I can clock about 95 words a minute, because it helps me do what I do. The reason I'm saying all that is that even when I was doing resumes and I could put them out, I could do it fast because I knew how I had the skill to type. But I also, after a while, said, you know what? I'm doing this stuff, get my little money in my pocket. Like, is this legal? Right? I mean, I'm just saying. So yes, I went to my little city hall, or my the commissioner of revenue, and got me a business license so I could make sure I do stuff legit. Because depending on the nature of what you're doing, you got to be careful with the legal entity of what you're doing. So if you're giving massages and you're not a licensed professional, or you're not a legal business, you might want to stop, okay? Because the potential to get sued. But for the rest of us, I'm not doing brain surgery. I'm not building houses. But at some point when I felt that, wow, this is really making some revenue for me and the word is getting out, I might need to get this thing in the legal way. So look at your options for that. I'm as an entrepreneur, I'm telling you, you want to protect your assets, right? You want to protect your assets. So check that out. But again, find a need and fill it. You need to do it quickly, because that's the world we live in. So if it takes you 12 hours to solve my 20-minute problem, I'm not going to retain you. So you've got to figure that out. And one thing I've learned as an entrepreneur, and this is how we built our career engineer, is the deeper the paying, the bigger the check. I mean, as you're doing your find a need and fill it, well, how painful is the need? I mean, there's some times when, okay, I don't care what it costs, just get it done. I mean, it happens that way. And if it's something that's like, well, yeah, I can get it done or not, it doesn't really matter. Well, then that's going to affect, going to affect the paycheck. Here's an example. So, you're a plumb, you're at your house, and all of a sudden you're looking up at your ceiling and there's water coming from the ceiling, right? And it's coming down the walls, and you sit in your nice new house and you see water coming out the ceiling. You're gonna call a plumber, and you may or may not be reading all his brochures. You like, I need me a plumber. I need the plumber now. I got water coming down the walls, water coming through the ceiling, you know, boom, right? And you want to get it fixed fast and quickly, and price becomes, well, I don't care, just get it done, right? That's what we mean by pain, to a point, not physical pain, you get what I'm saying, but the pain of the need. So think about those things. Right now, people are time starved. Everybody's time starved. People are anxious, people are out of work, people are starting businesses, people are getting hustled and being out of work and out of business too. So for example, we've been very valuable or popular lately because folks know we are a no hustle zone. If I can't help you, I won't help you. I mean, it's just that simple. We're not trying to hinder. So because of our no hustle zone, we people trust us, and that's important to me. But we have a lot of pain right now in the career space. So there are lots of people like me and others who are here to help. But of course, yeah, the bigger paychecks do come with a deeper pain. So just something to think about. Point two, very important with planning, and everyone can look at planning and whatever it means to you. I do recommend definitely get some education on this. Definitely do some research. Be careful of ads and sponsored research. I mean, get real research. I mean, read a real book and ask someone. I mean, I'm here, I'm available for informational interviews. I get people to do that to me all the time. But to find out about, what's the plan for me, this is how I plan everything with the career engineer. And what I'm sharing with the side hustle is good. TCE used to be a side hustle. Now it's my main thing, right? But planning, these things are so important. Your why, your who, your what, and your when. I'm going to do those 4 W's before we talk about the how. Those are critical. And the most important W is why. Why do you want to do this? What's your why for doing this? Is it to make quick, fast, and a hurry money? If that is, don't do it. I'm just really, because you're going to hurt somebody along the way. Now, unless there's something that's not going to hurt folks. Just because you want to make a whole lot of money doesn't mean you want to be an entrepreneur. I mean, come on, that's what they tell you in the midnight commercial with the inflammation guy. That ain't the real world we live in. Whatever you're getting ready to do as a side hustle, you're going to spend a lot of time with it. You really will, even before you make 1 red cent. So you got to know your why for doing this. Why do we do what we do? I'm the career engineer. Why do I do this? Our model tells our why. Don't get anxious, get prepared. We don't want folks to be anxious. And I know that people make wrong and painful decisions when they're desperate, vulnerable, and anxious, particularly in the career space. I've also learned they make dangerous decisions and life-altering decisions when they're anxious, desperate, and vulnerable in the business space, right? So we don't want that. That's my why. And also, I made some terrible mistakes as a business person. I made some terrible mistakes in my career, but I've also made some fabulous ones too, some fabulous solutions. And that's my why. Who, what? Well, who is your client? What do they look like? Where do they live? Where do they eat? Where do they play? I mean, what's the triggers? Are they women? Is it men? Is it womb to the tomb? Is it short people, tall people? Is it people with a size 14 shoe? Is it somebody with a size 6 foot, right? You've got to know who the people are. And it can't be everybody. There's only a few industries I think anybody and everybody works, and that's food, because everybody eats. But even with the everybody eats, not everybody eats the same way. We went yesterday to get, it was big game day and want to support food from businesses. Well, there's a local space in Virginia Beach that I love called Aldo's, and no money. I have clean hands. They haven't given me any money, but I love that restaurant. I love it. It is not a cheap restaurant. I love it. Even if a salad might cost $16, I will go to Aldo's and get myself a Caesar salad with grilled chicken and their bread. Oh my God, it is so good. But that's a different price point. Aldo's is not marketing to the chick that just likes chicken wings and French fries, and that's me too. I can get it. I can get that. So you see how even in something as food, because we all need to eat, there's still a who of that, and you have to determine who your who is. Don't figure it out while you're side hustling. You got to do this planning before the why, the who, what, and when. Yeah, what is it that they need? I mean, I have clients telling me what they need, and lately I'm like, okay, I'll just do it for you. And that's fine because people know themselves better. But the what and the who and when, all of that is stuff you have to figure it out. So if you have an idea of something you want to do or something you're currently doing and you're trying to evolve it to a whole nother dimension, please spend some action. I call them an action plan. I'm the worst person to talk to about to keep it real, because I these long executive plans, I'm an action chick, right? So I'll make a plan to get it done. I want to see results like every 60 days or every 90 days. Carla says I'm making her hungry. I'm getting hungry too, Carla. I am getting hungry too. But I make a plan. I like to see action. So and that's how I work my side hustle. You may be more thought processing, but the problem with this, for those of us who are extreme analytical thinkers, and I know these folks, I'm married to one, okay, is that sometimes that, you've heard the paralysis of analysis. We will think this thing so much. We won't do anything yet. We'll think it so much, and a year has gone by. And whatever you thought that was hot, as you've seen in this world, it changes like this. So be careful of if you have that analysis of the paralysis of analysis, right? I'm from this old school of implement now, perfect later. It's a date. My husband cringes when I say that, but I do. I do that. I do it. But again, I have a service. My widget is a service. My side hustle is a service. I have some product. I mean, I have digital product, but I'm not building a house. I'm not doing brain surgery. So, number two, you have to invest some quality time in it. And for your side hustle, I'd want you to make sure you revisit it. When you do it the first time, it ain't done forever. You've got to revisit this thing to see if it's still real and relevant. And let me give you a quick I shared this on TV today, but I mean, some of you may have a side hustle of doing photography, maybe doing photography has changed a little bit, but there's a new, what? I'm glad I just said that to myself. I know someone that has a photo booth business, right? And and they've done, they do all the events. And so they were tied into the event industry. As you all know, the event industry is struggling a bit now. But what did they do? They converted to a virtual arm of that business. And it seems to be the coolest thing I've ever seen, right? So this is what I mean by having to shift and pivot. Yes, the event industry has changed, but services within the event industry, there's a way to do a side hustle differently in the digital spaces where this particular company went. And I think they're doing quite well. Listen to this. Y'all saw this on the news last week. And I thought of this as a quick side hustle, right? The snow shovelers, because up in DC, New York and DC, it was crazy, right? I mean, they just had snow for days, right? And and I'm from New England, so I remember those days of snow blowers and making my money shoveling driveways. But these characters, they have feet of snow, right? It was insane. But what I'm saying is there was the news, like the hottest job market, the hottest job in New York City, like last week, were snow shovelers and young people, teenagers and 20 somethings and 30 somethings. Some folks got a shovel and some backbone or whatever. Others had their snow, blowers. We're making $500 a day or more shoveling snow. Now, granted, I don't know how often they're gonna have snow. If it's but there was a need and they filled it quick. And folks did not. And then one guy said he used to get like $30. He got like 150. Why? Because the need was great. The need was great, and he was available. And I'm just saying, I ain't mad at him. So that's a real extreme example, but I think it really speaks to the need and how sometimes with timing you have to just get it done. So my whole implement now, perfect later is real. The model too, like how you're going to do what you're going to do. And right now we're such an information and digital age. So virtual services rock right now. Consulting rocks right now. If you have idea and you've got experience in something, you know how to help people do something, consulting, virtual, however you want to deliver is that's it. That's the way. Yes, you can make something. Yes, I could make this over and over again. I'm not saying manufacturing ain't hot. There is. I mean, people made masks, right? You saw the need for masks. And what happened? People started making masks. People who sewed jump into it. And now there's some people that made big business out of masks, right? So timing and skill was everything. But you've got to decide which models for you. So I have like Diffu or Diwu, right? But what it means is simply this. It's like do it for you. Okay, so you may have a service and you do it for someone or you do it with them. So whether you're teaching them how to do it themselves, that works. Some people don't, I'll teach you how to do it, you do it yourself. Not a problem. Or heck, I'll do it for you. That one's going to be more expensive, right? But some people just, I don't want to be bothered with it. You do it, whether it's virtual administration, whether it's project management, whether it's video. I mean, I know for me, I struggle. Like, I mean, this is just as real and transparent. So I'm going to see who gets this and who will respond. But video work, right? I mean, that's why I love doing live video. I don't have to do any editing afterwards. A video person would, but Francina doesn't. So I may have I've got stuff like our summit that we had last January. I got tons and tons of footage. Editing is not my strong skill. I can do it. I know I'm movie enough to be dangerous, but that's something I am willing to outsource to anyone that can do a great job in a timely manner. What's your price? I mean, I'm almost at that point. So I don't want to learn how to do it. I mean, you could teach me, I'm sure, but I don't want to learn how to do it. I'd rather get somebody else to. I mean, that's where I am today. So but do it for me model tends to work. I do it for folks. I mean, I can teach folks. I hold classes and I teach folks, but I can do it for you. So you have to decide with your side hustle or entrepreneurial 5 to 9, what works for you. And that's part of your planning of the who, what, when, where, and how. So the DIFU or the DIW is part of your how. And you've got to figure that out. You've got to figure that out. Okay. Again, one may have more impact with dollars, but it costs more time. Right. So you have to decide, well, what's more important to me right now? Or do I want to do a little bit of both? Or do I want to do a little bit of both? Right. Because some people do a little bit of both. Carla says, in fact, let me just, I meant to do this. Let me see earlier. Boost the economy by hiring the video. Right. Yeah, and Carla, what a great, that's right. I need to, but here's the thing too, with us, everybody jumping into the side hustle of the 5 to 9. I also, because I just said it, I also want that video editor to find me too. I mean, there's a guy who does some blogging for me because I love to write. I don't have the time. I do a video, I'll write the shell, I give it to him. He makes an article. I mean, but those folks have to, I like it when they're hungry and they find me too. I do like it when they're hungry and they find me too. But you're right. I would love to do that. And when I do that, and this is leading us actually, Carla, which is you're right on top of it. I'm loving it. Let's say I'll put this right back here, is that part of this too is how you get your customers, right? That's a whole nother part. So let me jump into this right here, because location is everything, right? Um, and we're digital now. Even those of you that want to work, looking for jobs, there's so much remote working. So someone like me, I've been remote working ever since, because I knew I didn't want to do a brick and mortar. I knew my what, my where, and my how didn't matter about where I physically was. If folks just want the help. And in the old days, we used the telephone and we used Skype. When Skype came out, we lost our mind, right? But we have evolved now. So your location matters, and your location is going to be also where you get paid. So my 5 to 9ers, have you figured out your e-commerce plan? Remember who, when, where, why, and all that. Pick one. It doesn't but please be legal with it. In fact, what I mean by that, I have so many people that will tell Fran, you have a Cash App. I don't have a Cash App. I do not have one. I never get money from people. I mean, not on a personal side, but all my business stuff is done between, there's some popular ones. You have your Square, your PayPal, you have Stripe, and some native apps have their own way to get paid and everything. So you got to figure out which one works. If you're going to have a legitimate side hustle, it shouldn't be Cash App. I'm just keeping it real. Cash App is for personal money, but when you want to give me money, y'all know it's by PayPal. I do Stripe. I do some other things too, right? So you got to have that straight. I'm going to say web presence. I'm going to say Fiverr and Upwork. My hands are clean. I have no relationship with any of those. But what we know is that they're pretty popular. Fiverr's been around, is very popular for folks. Once you know what your thing is, your side hustle, whatever it is, if it's SEO, if it's blogging, if it's project management, if it's proofreading, if it's writing, if it's coaching, if it's Zumba. I mean, once you figure that out, there are different places. Now, there's a new one too that I've actually looking forward to doing some of my do it with you training, because I will do some Zoom. Some training, career intelligence and stuff. I just haven't been too busy doing other stuff, but I'm going to be using a new one called On Zoom. If you guys haven't checked out On Zoom, I'll be using that as a marketplace just to see how that works. It'll be kind of cool. But anyway, your web presence, all I'm going to say about this, and you've got to be somewhere. You decide whatever website and all that. I mean, I know because you guys have, maybe you've seen my website. It's okay. It's not stellar, right? Because it's okay. In the old days, it really had to be big. I'm not saying it doesn't, but what needs to happen is you can find me, and when you find me, you can figure out what I'm offering. And when you when you find out what I'm offering, and you learn to know, like, and trust me, you then can contact me, connect with me, and you can pay me. All those things are in my web presence, okay? And that's what's really, really important. It's all in my web presence. What's up, Marilyn? How you doing? Again, if you guys have questions or anything, let me know. And if you have a business, put it in there. We might give you a shout out as we're going through things. So you need to have a presence on the web. So whether it's your LinkedIn should be definitely sharing all of your gifts and talents, entrepreneurial and your other. Maybe it's your Instagram. I mean, I've gotten business on Instagram. I've gotten business on Facebook. I've got business on YouTube, right? So you have to have a presence, and word of mouth and 21st century technology are married. Okay. You got it. Y'all know me, high tech, high touch, right? It hasn't changed. So you have to have these things, but I would say, please get your e-commerce squared away. Get it squared away. Get your business PayPal or your Square, or squared away, right? No pun in that. Stripe, whatever system you're going to use, because people are going to pay you, and I know you folks are cash apping, but I don't think that's legit. I just not if you're going to have a real legal side hustle. I'm just saying. I just think you want to watch that. And like I said, your social platforms, if you've built one, can be your a great space to do business as long as your social platforms are representing what you're doing now as your 5 to 9 customers. Very important with customers. Ask, share, word of mouth. Now, why later? And what in the world does she mean by that? That's how you get your customers. That's how I got mine. That's how, I mean, today, that's, in fact, today, which was really cool, one of my potential new customers was a friendly stalker. I like that term. And that's actually a compliment because they have been watching me, web presence or wherever I've been, social, television, whatever, for a while, because that's what's real, particularly if you're a consultant, right? I don't have a, I'm not selling coffee cups. I'm not selling chicken wings or hair. I'm selling trust, right? I'm selling trust, and particularly with people's livelihoods. So they stalked me. I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. They had to vet me. So, but by asking and sharing and word of mouth and going deep versus wide, that's how you let your community know what your side hustle is about. Okay. So hey, if I'm starting something, I can proofread, I can make Google Forms, I can make PowerPoints look great. I know how to use G Suite. I know how to update websites, so I can do whatever my skill set is. I'm going to let my family know, friends know, co-workers. I'm going to share it. I'm going to make sure I'm professional in my sharing. I'm going to use word of mouth because that's where the golden nugget is. And in terms of when I say deep now or and wide later, I'd like to use the approach and then how we built TCE. And many of you may know that while we go deep, I really rarely go wide. And what that means is those of you who I know, you can tell Miss Monroe, I know who she is. I know Carla. And these are folks who have known me for over time, right? Deep. I believe in deep roots. And I'll spend more time investing in deep roots. So I have newsletters and I do things like this because I'm all about deeper engagement. Because even if you all may not have want to be a client of mine, or maybe you have in the past, you might know someone who knows someone, and that's where the word of mouth and stuff goes. The wide is like building a market for folks who don't know you yet, and there's a place for that. You might have a side hustle selling, I don't know, masks, and you don't really care about whether people know you. You're just trying to get it out there, or chicken wings or something like that. And there is a market for that. But for the first consultant types who we're selling trust and we're dealing with people's lives, we tend to have to go this way versus that way. Miss Marilyn says, what are my thoughts on Clubhouse socially? Let me tell you about Clubhouse. Look, y'all, I'm so through. Miss Marilyn, because I've had 3 invitations when Clubhouse came out for it, because it's kind of elite. You got to be invited. And if you have an invitation and you have an iPhone, I say go for it. At least a month or so ago, that would be my thing. I don't have an iPhone. I'm feeling some kind of way because I have a Mac. But my 3 invitations, and one came from a casting director. Okay, so the real inside. Another came from another person in the creative space, and I could not do Clubhouse because I have an Android, and I love my Android. I love it. I'm never getting an iPhone, but because I don't have an iPhone, I can't play unless they just recently changed it. But I know it's Android way a little bit. But the fact my Mac couldn't do it, I was upset about that because to me, if you have an iOS, you should be able to do it. I'm hearing nothing but good stuff. But however, there is a director that I know, film director, producer, who in the early days loved it because there's a room, the whole audio kind of connectivity. And I love radio and audio because I just love that space, not having to do this all the time. And she loved it, but now it's getting a little bit more. I'm not going to say, well, the word it's getting a little crowded. So her initial invitation, she was feeling it like, yes, I like this new way, and Periscope is disappearing, so this is a new thing. But the fact that it was sort of elitist, only way you could get in if someone who knows and trusts you got you in, that was great. So I'm hoping that is staying that way. And the whole audio part I think is really a new thing. It's a new thing. And if I was Android, I would jump into it because again, I am Android. And when we're able to be invited, I think I'll be more than happy to jump on board, but I'm feeling some kind of way because they won't let me as an Android phone. So I got to see if we've changed things. I will say this in defense of us, my Android nation. We let the iPhone people be the beta and test everything out. When it gets right, then it comes in the Google Play Store. That's the way we look at it. But that was a great question. Very great question. Let me do a quick recap for everyone. And again, if you haven't liked us here, again, we do this 12 noon live on our LinkedIn. So if you know, I also have a LinkedIn business page, Career Engineer. You can find me there, and as well here on my platform, my profile. But we're also on YouTube, so you can go to our YouTube by hitting me up at tcenow.com. You can subscribe to our YouTube, and beyond just subscribing, please engage. As you guys heard, my side hustle is about going deep. I love to engage with my folks, so please consider that. Again, our TCE network is available, mytcenow.com. You save money on everything that we do, if that's of a concern to you, but it's also you get to network with me all the time. It's just really cool. So let me do a quick recap on what you need to do to get your side hustle on as we come. And this is one of my longest ones, but there's a lot of good info here. So I hope this has been important to you. Make sure that you need to find a need and fill it. And you need to respond quickly, efficiently, and effectively and accurately, right? And please get it legal. Stop doing under the table stuff, y'all. I mean, if you really want to be serious about it, get serious about it. It's no big deal. And two, you got to work on your plan. And I'm not a big forever executive planning kind of girl. I'm not. Y'all know that probably if you know me. But I'm big on action. So know your why, which is most important, your who, your what, your when, and then you can figure out the hows. The how will be easy when you know those 4 W's. It'll be easier. Okay. And the hows that we talked about were a couple things here. You got to figure out what your model is, particularly if you're a consultant, because that's where consulting is hot. Services, are hot. Whether you're going to do it for you kind of side hustle, or you're going to do it with you kind of side hustle, which means you're going to teach them and they'll do it, but you're going to be teaching them along the way, or you're going to do a little bit of both. That's the part you have to make up. They both have great reasons. But they both also have some cons. You just got to decide what your time and your commitment and things are for that. But I will tell you that the virtual services, anything virtual, whatever you know how to do, if you can deliver it virtual and there's a need for it, you're great. You can make some really good money and always have that no matter what is happening in the economy. Number 4, we talked about location, meaning that you got to be found digitally. Get your ecommerce squared away. Know how you're going to get paid. Don't make it hard to be paid. I still have some people asking me, I had a person that want me to still pay them by Western Union. I won't do all of that. That's too much work. I'll go to someone that I can just send them a thing and I'm done, right? Get yourself a web presence. I'm not saying it has to be a website, but make sure your presence is known. Websites are great. There's all kinds of them now, but just make sure you can be found. And Fiverr and Upwork are some well-known places for people who are freelancing, but your social media might be already strong. Maybe your Facebook page and groups and all these social media, WhatsApp and all that, they've really made a way for you to have a marketplace. So they've evolved a bit because they understand people are doing this. In terms of customer development, 5, there you are. Start home. Start from what you know. Tap into your network first. People you know first. Let them know what you do. Maybe they'll start with you, and then they can give you some referrals and some testimonials and things of that nature, right? So start with them first. Go deep versus wide is kind of where I believe in, and that type of thing. So, and again, we thank you for listening. Have a fantastic week. I know Carla shared something. She's one of my yeah, Team Android. We're the best, man. Team Android right here. Yes, right. We show it when all them bugs are gone. So all you iOS people, go ahead and take care of Clubhouse for us when it's ready and perfect. We'll be more than happy to tune in. Okay, more than happy to tune in. So again, I want you guys to have a fantastic week. I want to thank you for being watching us today. Again, live 12 noon. Every Monday, that is our plan to bring you nice, new, fresh content. So have a fantastic Monday. If you're getting your side hustle on, let me know what it is. I'd love to know. Put it in the comments here, and I'll see you next week. So be safe. Remember, wear those masks, wash those hands, and watch your distance. We'll see you next time.